I than you and blue Hawaii. Hi everybody, this is CJ Horton here with my first video of 2019, and I would just like to say to all my subscribers and viewers, a happy new year to you all. Well, today marks the anniversary of Elvis Aloha from Hawaii, and believe me, if I had the Aloha suit, I would be sat in the Aloha suit now. So, but I made a little bit of an effort. An Aloha lei, the Aloha necklace Elvis was presented with, which is a replica, and a replica of Elvis's famous Gibson Dove guitar that is most recognisable from that concert, besides Elvis on tour in 1972, and loads of other pictures, and yes, there is the Kempo sticker there, so yes, and that's the same font as well, so happy days. Anyway, I'm not going to go into detail about the main concert, or the concerts, because he done two concerts. He done the rehearsal one, which was the Alternate Aloha, and then there is the Via Satellite. Now, the reason being, because I bet you're thinking now, why isn't he going into detail then about the concerts, because it's the anniversary? Well, the simple fact is this: all the information about the concerts have been told 1,000 times. They're available on YouTube. They're available in books, online. There's been loads of posts I've seen on Facebook groups. So I don't really want to go into the full details about the concerts. But I will tell you a few bits and pieces. It's no secret that this was a very important concert for Elvis. I'm not saying that none of the other concerts were important, but this was a challenge for Elvis, because he knew that he'd be viewed by people all around the world, you know. So I think he was excited and nervous at the same time. I think anybody would be, really. Which is why on January 12th, just a few days prior, he did a rehearsal concert, which was taped, and it was a full dress rehearsal, as we all know, in case anything went wrong in the transmission. So, what I'm going to do in this video is show you a couple of releases, and I'm going to talk to you about the releases. Also as well, some facts about the concerts, mainly the set lists, and stuff like that. So I'm going to a few things that I've spoke about with many Elvis fans now, and many Elvis collectors as well, that hasn't been picked up on until I've mentioned it, and they've been like, oh yeah, come now you come to mention it. And the same with the concert itself, the footage. There's something about that as well that nobody's really, sort of picked up on before. Or if they have done, I've been on a few forums and there's not really any mentions of them, so I'm gonna give them a mention. So, what am I gonna start with? Okay, here we go. I'll start off with this. Now, in 1988, this album came out, which is the Rehearsal Album. It came out on vinyl as well, but sadly all my vinyl collection was destroyed when I was a bit younger, which I won't go into, but those of you who have seen my other videos will know what I mean. Even though I've not gone fully into detail, I've, don't think I've gone into any detail at all, really, but it was destroyed. So anyway, this is a CD, which I've never liked the sound on this, never. But I've got it because it's the original and it's part of my collection. Yeah. Thank you. That's the inside of the book there. Satellite picture, pretty cool. So I don't know why this wasn't released, when he was still alive. Obviously he didn't want it released or whatever, or the company didn't, or Colonel Parker. But anyway, I never liked the sound. It was a very bad mix. There's moments on here where you can't really hear him, you know. So I never liked the mix. And something else that's been a very, very big snag, and one of my pet hates, is they've got the concert, but at the end, they've got Blue Hawaii, Hawaiian Wedding Song, and Cuckoo Weepaw. Why? If I remember correctly as well, on the vinyl, because like I said, I had the vinyl, and if memory serves me right, not all the songs in the concert, I think Hound was cut out or something. I could be wrong about this. I could be totally wrong. It was mentioned on another video that I'd seen, and this is going back a while ago now, before I started doing these videos, when I was just sort of trying to get into them. And I didn't get into them until I saw my mate Johnny, who is Prince Elvis Jackson 88. So I want to give him a little plug there, because he done me a video review of the Aloha concerts, because it's always nice to see some focus on these concerts. So anyway, so yeah, that's on this. The reason why I don't like those last couple of songs on there is because they wasn't recorded until after the satellite show, which was on January 14th. So why put them on the rehearsal concerts? It doesn't make sense. It would have made more sense to put them on the soundtrack album for the satellite show. But they didn't. And they got released after that on like combination albums and so forth, which I don't actually have, and I haven't replicated any of those yet on CD. I'll say yet, because I'm 50-50 on those ones. So anyway, that's the rehearsal concert. I'm going to try and get through this video as quick as possible, and also in a couple of minutes or so, my children are kind of coming back, and as you can tell, I'm downstairs in my living room, so which is where I think I'll do all my videos now. So anyway, I'm going to come back to the rehearsal concerts CD in a bit, because now I want to talk to you about the DVDs, or the VHS/DVDs. Now, the rehearsal concert was never really available over here in the UK, and it was never officially released. However, there were a lot of bootlegs and budget videos released of the rehearsal concert. And I'm sure, if I'm correct, even Graceland brought out like a box set where they had, I think it was Elvis in Hawaii, which was the rehearsal concert, comeback special, and what was the other one? Exclusively Elvis, I think it was, or exclusive, something like that. But it was three or four, maybe. It might have been another one, I think, in like a box set, and the covers also were the same, just a different picture on the front, but it was the same design. Anyway, the concert itself was very bright, the colours wasn't right, and it was out of focus, it was very soft. There was also no end credits either. And then there were some other bootlegs that came out under the same title by various VHS, videotape companies. Neon, the company Neon, I think that's a British company here in the UK. And again, there was no write-up, there was no information, no intro text to state what the concert was all about, like saying about the rehearsal show and why it was done. So it just sort of come on with Elvis came in on the helicopter, and as it went to fade, it just went boom, the concert started. And it first got broadcast over here in the UK in 1997. But what my belief is that after doing some research, that it was released in the States in 1996 on VHS. And it came under the title of Elvis, the Alternate Aloha Concert. However, when it was first broadcast over here in 1997 on an Elvis-themed night, which was called A Date with Elvis, and the host, and it was actually in the paper as well, the TV paper is that, the title of Elvis the Alternative Aloha from Hawaii concert. Now, alternative and alternate basically means the same thing anyway, but when it got, sorry about that, when it got released, it was not released in the UK. But so it was a real good pleasure to see that on TV for the first time in great quality and everything. And when I went to the Elvis shop in London, because I was going to buy the American video VHS release, and during that period I couldn't get it imported over here or anything like that. But I went to the Elvis shop London just once, and I walked in, and obviously everything is Elvis. CDs, vinyl, DVDs, videotapes, and you know what? The one thing I got excited about, I looked up on the shelf, and there it was. Even though this is a DVD, I'll come to this now in a minute. This is what I saw on the shelf on VHS, and it was a private screener copy from the company that broadcasted it here in the UK. And I was just so excited, and I only paid £10 for it, and I was extremely chuffed. Took it home and I played the living daylights out of it. Absolutely loved it. Sadly, over the years, when my vinyl collection got destroyed, a lot of the other stuff of my collection got destroyed too, and sadly that was one of them. But I did do myself a backup of it. I converted it from video to DVD, and that conversion, that original conversion that I have, is still in my DVD pouch upstairs with all my master VHS conversions. But this was the cover. This was the cover of the VHS. And what I did was, when it came to DVD, I done my own DVD versions. The first original DVD I bought, because I'm gonna come to this one now in a second. The first original DVD that I bought of the alternate was when it got released in the States, and I was able then to buy it off Amazon, and that was this one here. And I hate these things here. These clip ones, hate them. So that's the original US DVD release of it. But what I hated most about it is that they cut off "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry" in the collector's note there. I'll just put that. So, well, let's see if I can hold that. Basically, it states, collector's note, Elvis performs "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry" in the concert has been deleted from this edition of the video package. Music publishing clearance from the song's owners was up for renewal, and agreement for its continued use could not be reached. However, a complete soundtrack is available on CDs and tapes from RCA Records. So I was a little bit annoyed about that, but it was, again, better than the VHS. It was crystal clear. One slight change with the end credits, because on the video that I had, it was as it was when they showed it on TV. The end credits was, funny enough, for some reason, the end credits for the satellite show, which I never really got. But the end credits on here is of the ones for the rehearsal. And something else that's different, on the text write-up after the satellite satellite Morse code thing, and Elvis comes in on the helicopter, it goes into the 2001 Space Odyssey with a blank screen with writing up on the screen explaining about the concert itself. And there's a part on there where it goes, "This is the alternate concert never before released" on this version. And it made sense, because obviously by the time it was released on this edition, it just says this is the alternate concert. It doesn't say never before release, so which makes sense. But it's always good to have both variations. The sound quality was brilliant to watch. I was very ecstatic about having it for the first time on DVD. And excuse me, and yes, you can't Aloha, even though it's got a red guitar strap. So anyway, we got the rehearsal concert, and again, I'm going to come back to this because it does have significance why I want to come back. Then over the years, then I'm going to come back now. To the. I know you might not be able to follow this video tidy because I'm all over the place. I'm going to come back now to the soundtrack album. When they released the Legacy Edition, which is the Aloha concert, they decided to release it in the same packaging as the original release of the album, and they included both concerts, which when I first saw it come up for pre-order, I was, oh my, yes, they finally done it and they remastered it, amazing. But I was disappointed when it came back. It's slightly better in many areas, but I was still unimpressed by how they done the CDs, because, you know, I open it, still got that the map as the original album on vinyl, which I thought was great packaging. I love the way they did the discs. And then we have a lovely booklet. Which if you turn it on its side here like that, it will tell you about, you know, if you look in the booklet here, it's got a great review in here. Some great pictures. Track listing as well, and information about the concert, information about this release, but the remastering work in it and everything. But even still, I just think the remastering work was, pardon my language, I thought it was crap. I wasn't a big fan of this. I like the booklet though, you know, like I said, I like the information, I like the booklet. I love reading about things. So anyway, so that's that. So you got a lovely booklet, got the album, and I was really overjoyed when I got it. However, what I did discover is that the track listings, disc 1 is the satellite show. Again, to me, didn't make sense. They should have put it in order, I think. I know they were trying to do it as like a release order, because obviously the soundtrack for the actual satellite concert was released first. But in my opinion, they should have done the rehearsal first, then the satellite concert. Now the satellite concert is as it is on vinyl, but the alternate Aloha still has those bonus tracks, which are Blue Hawaii, Kukuwipo, No More, Early Morning Rain, and Hawaiian Wedding Song. Again, why put it on the second disc? Or why include them on the rehearsal concert? I mean, you know, this was released in 2013, so within the age now where you should be able to put those onto the other CD. Didn't make sense to me, and I didn't like it still. So what I did, due to the sound issues, this came with it as well, advertising a Prince from Another Planet, and so forth, and other legacy releases and whatever. What I thought about is, why didn't they just release the concert with great quality? Why didn't they take some time and effort, you know, to do the rehearsal concert? So I decided, and I only decided this back last year, I decided to do my own version. of the Rehearsal Concert. Because in 2004, this was released. The box set, Aloha from Hawaii, Deluxe Edition, which included over 4 hours of material. The most exciting version of Aloha ever. Anyway, it contains the VHS released TV version of Aloha from Hawaii, satellite, and it contains the concerts, both complete. I'm not going to say uncut for the satellite show, because it is slightly edited, which again I will come to later in this video and I will explain it. The rehearsal show, however, is completely uncut. I won't say unedited because it has been re-edited with the camera angles, but it's still the full length concert, and the sound on it is absolutely amazing. I love it. So what I did was I decided to do an audio rip, and I ripped the audio, and then I thought about the first time then that I watched the rehearsal concert here in the UK on TV, and I decided to put my old videotape in, because I recorded it on video when it was broadcast. Took a screenshot of when it came to the commercial, done my own cover, and I titled it The Alternative Aloha. So this, the idea that I got for this is, if you watched one of the other videos that I've done, I think it was the last but one video, I show this along with the Madison Square Garden afternoon show, an afternoon in the garden, and I kind of took the sort of design and everything from there, and I based it on there, and this is just the concert, and it's audio ripped from the DVD of the rehearsal show. So you know, I'm happy with this. So if I want to listen to the rehearsal show on CD, this is the one that goes in, and I'm really happy with it. So that's that. Again, I'm still going to come back to this version of the DVD, but now I'd like to move on to... Actually, no, I will come on to it now, because then I can end the rehearsals. Yeah, I can end the rehearsal part. Okay, what I liked was the version of Aloha from Hawaii, which was broadcast in Japan, and there's a bootleg going round of that, which is the Japan Aloha, and it was filmed via Japan cameras, different camera angles, and they were showing the start up of the broadcast. When Elvis arrived, they were showing going into the entrance of the arena. They were showing Elvis's dressing room. They showed everybody setting up, ready for the concert. All the wiring in the one room, the network room, and the television network communications, where they basically just making sure everything was right and everything was set. And then the cameras then went it was like a behind the scenes type thing, where they went out onto the stage as they were setting the stage up, and you saw the musicians, you know, coming in, and you saw Elvis's band on stage, you know, getting everything ready, testing, you know, the guitars, and, you know, tuning everything up, getting everything set for the concert that night. They then filmed the seats and the cameras and how everything was getting set up. Then they showed the lights working. They were testing the lights, and I thought, you know, this footage is just too good not to have out there, and I think it should have been released officially, but sadly it's not been. And I decided, I love both concerts equally. Let's work on them and do my own versions of both concerts, and there's a reason why I did. I replicated the VHS cover. I kind of altered the back slightly. But as this was the first VHS I had, the only VHS I had, I decided to do it for myself. That there is part of a collection that came out, this stamp here, but I added that, and that's my version of the disc. Now, how mine starts up, because another snag with this release and the VHS, and when they broadcasted it on TV, is when they do the Morse code at the beginning, it comes up as Aloha, Elvis Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. And I'm thinking, but it's not via satellite, it's the rehearsal, so why put that at the start of that? Because the original satellite show, when that got released, this is just one of the editions which I'll come to, I originally had it on VHS when I was a kid in that cover. And I also had the BMG version of it as well, which was like a purpley cover, and it was a picture of Elvis from the concert in the front. When that started up, you had the Morse code, and it just said Elvis, Aloha from Hawaii. It didn't say via satellite. So I never got why they put that on the rehearsal release. I just didn't get it. So basically, I used the standard. In fact, I don't think I have the Morse code on this one, if I remember correctly. I started up a little bit different, but I include the footage, the behind-the-scenes footage, where you see them setting up the stage and testing the lights and what have you. Then it comes on into the concert, and there is a special feature on you, and I have not put it on the back of the cover, so I kind of forgot what that special feature is. Actually, I think the special feature is the behind the scenes, if I'm honest. Now we come to the satellite concert. Actually, no, we don't. Just want to clarify, when I put the rehearsal concert on here to view, I took it directly from this box set here, which is complete and uncut. Now we come to the original satellite concert. Well, as I said, when I first had it on video, I actually had the concert collection, which included One Night With You and the 6-Day Comeback. So when I done my own version of it on DVD, for my personal collection, this was the cover I replicated. And there's the back as well. So, now it's funny because I say special edition on the disc. I put special edition on the disc. I don't know if you can see it just under there. I don't think you can because it's a little bit dark. I can see it clearly on the disc, but I know you might not be able to see it in the camera there. So that's done for my personal collection. And what I did with this, I used the Morse code opening, and I used the satellite one where it says Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. Then I go in then to obviously when Elvis comes in. I cut the helicopter part out because I leave that. I put that actually on the rehearsal show. I cut that part out, and it goes into like on the Elvis documentary, Elvis Memories, that George Klein hosts. Sorry. There's a part in it where they talk about the Aloha, and there's like a flashing sort of Elvis in pink with you see the earth moving on a satellite. I love that, so I kind of use that in here as well. Edited that in. I put where you could see the people and the Japanese girl dancing and everything like that. And then as it fades out and Elvis's name comes across the top, I actually took out the 2001 intro and I placed 2 songs over. Because then the concert itself is the... So I think that was released in 2004 as well. Not long after this version got released, it came out as a single edition, and it was called Special Edition. And I kind of thought, well, why are they doing that? They haven't long released this. What could possibly be new about that? Well, obviously there was the Easter egg, as they put in, as they've stated on websites, which is the Julius, what do you want? Sorry, my son's woke up. They released a special edition of the concert, and they've released this version. And when I watched it, I noticed it straight away. If you've studied the actual concert and the footage, you'll notice any little minor changes, and I noticed straight away. For me, the sound was a little better, I think, and also the footage was slightly different, which is what I'm going to get now to my next part. The very first official DVD release I had was this one here. The footage was all standard. The insert songs was after the concert, and it was the first time that they'd released, it says here, bonus, additional post-show song tape-in not used in the telecast and not released on video until 1999, which was the No More performance. But again, with this DVD, because it was not available anywhere in the UK, and because my videos got destroyed along with the rest of my collection, I had trouble getting this again. So I bought this, and again, there's a few songs cut out from here. Just like the rehearsal, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry is cut out, but so is I Can't Stop Loving You and Johnny Be Good. And I was a little bit gutted on that, because I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry is a very special song to me, and is, well, it's more than special, it's very sentimental to me because of this concert. It's the first song I ever heard Elvis sing, and it's the first performance I ever seen him perform, which was when my father had it on video. I was 4 years old, and I got into it from that, which I'll come to near the end. So I had that version. So I took everything and I'd done my own edited version of this. But I took the main concert from the special edition. Now, when they released this, it stated that the concert was uncut and so forth and everything. So I didn't think that there was anything new. You know, I thought it was complete from beginning to end. But there is a little snag, which, like I said, I noticed straight away. During the part where he introduces his band, he introduces the Suede Inspirations. If you've got this version, and you've got the single edition, which is this year, the special edition. The reason why I've not got the case is because this is an original disc. I keep all my original DVDs in here. All the DVDs in the cases are backups of my originals. I keep all my originals safe and sound, tucked away. So if I want to play them, I play the backups. The cover for this, I forgot, it's still on the shelf. So anyway, if you've got the two versions, watch them and pay attention to where he introduces his band. Because in this version, and in all the other versions that I've seen previously, growing up, they've switched. I can't remember now, though, entirely about the Japanese version that I mentioned with that extra footage. Because I had because I've always had this version of the concert, I never particularly watched the entire concert of the Japan version, because of the quality of it for starters. The only thing I like about the Japan version, again, besides that extra footage, is where Elvis goes to get the scarf just before he sings "Love Me." In all the other versions, it's like a fade, like a crossfade. It goes sort of like a long angle shot, and then it goes up when he has the scarf. But in the Japan version, you actually see him walk back and actually get the scarf. Other than that, it's the backstage footage I like. Anyway, back to this. In all the other versions and in this version, when he goes to introduce the Suede Inspirations, it switches. It switches from the satellite show to the rehearsal show. And just after he announces them, it switches back to the satellite show, which I've always wondered. The conclusion I've always come to is that obviously that's why they taped the rehearsal show, just in case there was any flaws. So that's, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there was something wrong with the footage, they couldn't use it, so because it was unusable, they switched it. When I watched the special edition, however, it never switched. It stayed as the satellite concert. So to me, that's what I would call uncut. And that's the reason why I use the special edition when I put my version together, because I wanted everything in it, everything. There's also special features on here. There's the making of the Aloha from Hawaii as well, and there's another video about the suits being different, which that's another thing as well. Both Aloha suits they're the same suits but different at the same time, and there is a YouTube video on this. If you type in Elvis Aloha from Hawaii suits, it should come up, the variations, and it'll show you the differences as well, which is pretty cool. Something that something I wanted to show you as well is, let's book out, is this release. I paid, I think it was £40 I paid for this one, something like that. This is the 40th anniversary edition, and it's the special screening version that they showed in Honolulu, in Hawaii, on the 40th anniversary. And I gotta tell you, when I first watched it, the beginning and the startup and everything, I thought was, whoa, this is awesome, like, very different, and I really enjoyed it. I liked how they did it. And then the concert started, and I thought that would go back to being normal screen and everything. And then I discovered that it was all multi-screens, to say the least. Multi-screen, I don't know how I can explain the screening or the editing they did on this one, because it's all over the place. But in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, there's like 1 minute you could be watching it and you could have boxes going on the top, different footage angles here, one center here, and then all of a sudden then it'd be like bubbles. You'll have a thing of bubbles where things would come up and different transitions. I haven't watched this, I've watched it about 3 times, and I still don't know how I can describe it or how I can feel about it. And the original disc is in the pouch, which that's the disc there, that's the original DVD. Yeah, it's pretty far out. I might actually stick it in at some point for another watch. It came with a book, which I absolutely think is brilliant, because it tells you about it. Now, I knew that it was re-edited and retransformed, but I just wasn't prepared for how I seen it. It was far out. It tells you about the suit. Now, that belt there, and the one that was on display, again, there is a variation of belts, because in the satellite concert, now, in the rehearsal show, he never threw the cape out to the audience. He kept it on. In the satellite concert, he threw his cape out to the audience, which is one of the most memorable things about the concert, when you're mentioning about Elvis' suit and the cape, is that he tossed the cape out. What very rarely gets picked up and mentioned is that he also gave his belt away as well. And if you take a look at the belt, pay close attention to the stars and everything that's on the belt at the very front, because he gave that to an audience member. He just tossed it into the audience. So I'll leave you to take a look at that. Now we come again, so that's that release. So I'm sorry that if you've not been able to grasp or understand what I've said. I know that this video is a bit of a long shot with me doing it, because I'm not giving any information away that's already been put out there about the concert, about how many people tuned in, how many people was in the arena, how much money they made, because that's all out there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a book in a minute, but what I'd like to do is get on to back to the CDs now. Now I've talked about the rehearsal concerts, and now I'm going to talk about the satellite concerts, soundtrack album. Obviously when it was released, first of all on CD, it was released with this cover, you know, the original cover, which I don't actually have the original CD release. I used to, but I decided to sell it because when myself and my wife met, I only had a few CDs, basically, of Elvis, and because I never thought I'd ever really get back everything I had, I decided to sell them. So I said to my wife, who does boot sales now and then, what have you, I said, oh, do me a favour, sell it. But when I started replacing them, quite a while back, I decided to only buy the versions of things that I wanted. I wanted all the original releases of the albums, because the 50 CD box set to me was never really in order, which I've mentioned in other videos. So when it came to the Aloha concert, I decided to buy what I would think, and in my personal opinion, is the best CD version. Now, I'll show you that in a sec, but this is obviously the Legacy edition, which I still have. Disc 1 is the satellite show, and it's got everything in there, but I prefer this version. This to me is the best version of the Aloha from Hawaii concert on CD, and that's this one here. Again, this is, I think it's the 25th anniversary, I think, if I remember correctly. There was a hype sticker here, but that sadly got damaged, because obviously it wasn't there when I had it. So anyway, that's the inside, and I love the disc as well. I love the way that's done. There's the disc, and I should just show you the booklet. I absolutely adore this CD, I gotta be honest, I really do, because if I want to play the Aloha on CD, this is the one that goes in every time. A part of me don't know why I've still got the Legacy edition. Maybe it's because of the booklet and stuff. You know. If you want to look at it, have a look at it. My daughter. It does my wire about she sometimes. Oh, I'll have a look at that. Don't you? Yes. So anyway, you can do that, can you? Come here.
Elvis.
Come here. Come here. This is my daughter, Tiana, Banana. And what can you do that Elvis does? Hey. So I'm going to show you the booklet now of this. Again, every time I get the CD out to play, again I'm reading the booklets, because I can never okay. So that's that up there. So yeah, that's the CD. So that's the CD that I put on. I absolutely adore it, because another thing I love about this CD is the track listings. It's got the complete concerts, and at the very end, it's got the bonus tracks that were recorded after the satellite show, and that's how I think it should have been done from the very start. So again, that's why I love it, and I never skip a track. If I put a CD on to listen to, I'm one of these people that if it's a favourite CD of mine, I'll play it all the way through. This is one of them. So yes, so they are the actual releases that I have, and I know there are others out there, and I did have a lot more when it came to the Aloha. I mean, when it comes to the Aloha, I had practically everything that was out there, but even the bootlegs. But I knew there were more bootlegs out there as well. So anyway, now I'm going to come to talking about a book that got released. in 2013. And this came out by Boxcar, which is the same company that's brought out many things over the years on Elvis. Believe it started with Having Fun on Stage with Elvis in '74, I believe it was. And then in recent years they brought stuff out like the Final Curtain box set, and this is the other release they had out as well. This is a fantastic, heavy book. Aloha from Hawaii, 40th Anniversary. You okay? Yeah? You okay? My other little one's not really well, so she's resting. Yeah, this book is absolutely amazing. I absolutely adore this book. And this is just the cover. This is just the cardboard cover. It's very heavy as well, very weighty. There's the front of the book. There's the back. It's the spine. Now this book, the pictures in here, you know, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to show this. I'm not going to show every page, but I'm just going to skim you through it. There's information in here that I never knew about the press conference and the album, the rehearsal, the arrival, everything. Some lovely pictures, both in black and white and in colour. And it gives you all the information about the rehearsal show and obviously the satellite show. Whew. It gives you obviously a description of the track listings as well, and the different songs that was chosen. So I'm just flicking through. I'm not going to show you everything because I'll be here all night otherwise. There's like a NBC photo, tells you about up there, and it's heavy as well. It's absolutely heavy for me to hold up. Oh, sorry, it's heavy. I lost my place now. Oh no, it's back on. So again, some lovely photos in here. I don't know how well you can see. Some colour photos. Some of these photos haven't been put out. It's the arrival and information about the suit as well that he wanted to wear. Documentations there as well. So, you know, there's pictures from the rehearsal concert. This is extremely heavy. Now I do show this. No, I haven't shown this book. I'm going to show this in another video I'm going to do on my Elvis books. So I'm really going to just really flick through here. Oh. It's a job just to have this on my shoulders. But yeah, it's an amazing book to have. It truly is. Some of the pictures in here. And what you've got to remember is I've read this book all the way through. I thought the Final Curtain book was heavy enough to hold. Documentations. That's another thing as well. I love looking at the documents of things. With the information about what have you. Right, now I'm gonna I'm gonna get to the track listings because I'm almost finished. But I want to talk to you about the track listings. Excuse me. When Elvis was excuse me for looking down, I'm just trying to find the pages with the track listing on. Excuse me. There's obviously a letter here about the Aloha, about RCA records and tapes from the Colonel and so forth. So again, I love reading those because it provides you know, information that again, more documentations there about the concerts, agreements, etc., etc. And I found it very interesting. Like I said, when I was looking at the track listings, I should have just gone to the index, shouldn't I? That would have been a better idea. Let's do that quickly. It doesn't tell me. Okay, so it's just looking through pages now, so just bear with me a second. Right, here we go. Here's the start of one. Okay. Songs to be cleared for possible performance. And the other ones here on this side here, look. And obviously the information about the songs Elvis picked, etc., etc., is at the side there, that paragraph. Okay, here's some of the, in fact, I'm going to read out 24 of them. So the first one that was put together was for CC Ryder, I Got a Woman, Until It's Time for You to Go. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me Tender. You Gave Me a Mountain, What Now My Love, Fever, Love Me, Little Sister, One Night, Blue Suede Shoes, All Shook Up, The Wonder of You, Teddy Bear, Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog, Suspicious Minds, My Babe, Burning Love, American Trilogy, A Big Hunk of Love, Can't Help Falling in Love, How Great Thou Art. Then it says here then, I'm going to show you this. Okay. Elvis's special song list. And to be cleared for possible performance. That here is a special song list. Now on that special song list, the songs are My Way, It's Over, You Gave Me a Mountain, What Now My Love, Steamroller Blues, a song now that he didn't perform in the concert, Born Too Loose, I'm So Alone to Make a Cry, another song here he didn't put into the concert, Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, another one that Elvis didn't do in the concert, Without You. I never even heard of those two other songs. A song that again was dropped is a song called My Boy, and obviously Welcome to My World and a whole lot of shaking going on. And the other one down here is You Gave Me a Mountain, What Now My Love, Something, 12th of Never, which wasn't used obviously, My Way, It's Over, It's Impossible, which again wasn't used, he didn't do, Steamroller Blues, and Susie Q. So that's it shows you the thought that was really put into the concert and the track listings. I mean, if you remember, this concert was very important to Elvis and to everybody that was around him, and Elvis was nervous, but he got excited, and he really prepared for himself. He really went all out for this concert. Not that he didn't with any other, but this was a bit, if you think about the magnitude of Aloha from Hawaii, it is very, very different than all the other concerts that he did throughout his career. Like I said, some people think he was lazy in the concert because he didn't move much, he wasn't outgoing. But I think you've got to read between the lines of how the concert was, what the concert meant, and what it stood for. And one of the greatest moments, I think, of that concert, of the satellite show, is at the end when he's shaking all the fans' hands. All of a sudden, somebody hands him a crown, which is still on display today. And he took it, and he's walking with it, and as he's just walking to go like that to the camera, you can still kind of see the crown. And do you know what? He never said he was the king. He hated that expression, actually. If somebody said, hey, you're the king, he'd go, no, there's only one king, and that's Jesus Christ. And that's true. He never referred himself to the king, even though others did. Again, I turn the page, and there are more song lists here. That was done and created. And these are, again, anything different there. CC Rider, I Got a Woman, Until It's Time for You to Go, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Love Me Tender, You Gave Me a Mountain, What Now My Love, Fever, Love Me, Little Sister, One Night, Blue Suede Shoes, All Shook Up, The Wonder of You, Teddy Bear Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog, My Way, Suspicious Minds, My Babe, Burning Love, American Trilogy, Big Hunk of Love, Can't Help Falling in Love, How Great Thou Art. Some other track listings here as well. On this side, CC Rider, I Got a Woman, Until It's Time for You to Go, Let Me Tender. That's pretty much the same as I've read out there. So obviously they were really considering making this, making these songs into the, the show. Even though there was no arrangement for Love Me at this stage, but we all know he done Love Me. So, mind you, maybe they didn't need arrangement. Okay, the other song that was put into you by this point then was Something. And then down here, this little one, songs that was put for you is the 12th of Never. The 12th of Never, I'll Remember You, Separate Ways, Johnny Be Good, Poke Saladani, Funny How Time Slips Away, Lordy Miss Claudie, My Way, It's Over, It's Impossible again, Steamroller Blues and Susie Q again. So if you think about these songs here, again, on this side here's another, on the next page there's another set list of songs to be cleared. Something, 12th of Never, I'll Remember You, Separate Ways, Johnny Be Good, Poke Saladani, basically the same as the one I've just read out. And now, what took place here is this. This is obviously one of the final set lists that was drawn up. So I'll show you this and I'll read out the songs. Because obviously, as you can see here, these were all officially done, ready for everybody to know, the artillery, etc. So this is where, the final set list was done. And it opened, which was here, it actually got the film, show opening film, Paradise Hawaiian style. So again, this was all planned out as like a script. Arrival at Auditorium, then you'd have the 2001 theme, CC Rider, I Got a Woman, Until It's Time for You to Go, Love Me Tender, You Gave Me a Mountain, What Now My Love, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Fever, Love Me, Little Sister, One Night, Blue Suede Shoes, The Wonder of You, Teddy Bear, Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog, My Way, Introductions by Elvis, that's his band, Suspicious Minds, My Babe, Burning Love, A Big Hunk of Love, and Can't Help Falling in Love. So that was already arranged, that was done, that was set. But obviously, as we know, he didn't do it that way, and the songs changed. So again, a rundown. Aloha from Hawaii via satellite rundown. So that's for Blue Hawaii early morning, Blue Hawaii Hawaiian wedding song, Kukuipo, No More. Sand Castles was mentioned. Tender Feeling, Early Morning Rain, show closing and credits. Obviously, Sand Castles and Tender Feeling was not included, and obviously not done. Otherwise, I think they would have appeared by now. Okay, you then got rundown, additional lyrics. So again, those rundowns there, rehearsing all officially done. Aloha from Hawaii satellite. That's Alright Mama, Proud Mary, Never Been to Spain, You Lost That Loving Feeling, Poke Saladani, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel, The Impossible Dream, For the Good Times, American Trilogy, Funny How Time Slips Away, I Can't Stop Loving You, The 12th of Never, It's Impossible, It's Over, Steamroller Blues, Something, Separate Ways, I'll Remember You, Johnny Be Good, How Great Thou Art, Lordy Miss Claudie, Am I Ready, and Susie Q. So again, some different sets of songs there. And then obviously then, I think, if I remember correctly, there's another part about it. I'm just going to flick through quickly, just in case there is any more. But we all know obviously what the set list was. You know, we've seen the concert now. And we've listened to the soundtrack album. And all us fans have it. What else? Used one of the artilleries here. You've got location schedule, Elvis Presley Aloha from Hawaii, Tuesday, January 9th, 1973, continued, which is obviously the next page over. So yeah, there's all this information, all these documentations that tells you everything. What time they had lunch? 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. lunch. Here we go. This is for the crew. Schedule, Elvis Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. Friday, January 12th, 1973. 1 a.m. Steve Orland, Steve McCune in. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Compost VTR electric editing. KG MBTV, and it gives you all the people that was there. Basically, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. camera blocking. W-/Elvis. Elvis singers and musicians. Joel Gertrude Orchestra. So again, all of these documentations, it even tells you about dinner. 8:30 p.m. and 9:30 dinner. Do you know what I mean? So the information, I think, is amazing. You know, the rundown, the presentation when Elvis was given the necklace. You know, which is actually on January 13th. Obviously because of what time the concert was. The pictures in here are absolutely gorgeous. You know, it really is. So, if you haven't got this book, it is very expensive, I know. But if you're a mega fan like me, I just have to have it. It was actually bought me as a present, which was pretty cool, if I remember correctly. Another thing as well, it shows you about the soundtrack album there in the cover and the orange stickers and everything. So there's a lot of information in here. Because I tell you something, the idea of doing this video, I didn't know what to do. But like I said, I didn't want to do your standard information that everybody knows. You know, so with the different releases, contracts for releases and stuff. So this book sure is an amazing book to have. So if you don't have it, go out there and find it if you want to. And as I said, it's the Aloha from Hawaii via satellite 40th anniversary celebration book. So I highly recommend it. Now I hope that you may have learned something that you didn't know. I hope that it was a little different, other than hearing about the same stuff on the Aloha as there are on many of the YouTube videos and Facebook pages and Google and so forth. I hope maybe I've said one or two things, even if it's just one or two things that you didn't know. Even if all my Elvis collector friends out there have learned something about the releases and about the editions, then I'm happy. And I'm sorry for anybody who have found this video boring. So gonna start doing some more in-depth videos pretty soon. I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna do the next one because I don't know, but I will be doing a lot more as a matter of fact. And looking back on the other videos that I did first time around, like the first two videos, for instance, and the box sets video, just showing the collection. I know that my friend Rossi, 1973. We've talked over the phone about showing like a memorabilia replica sort of video and stuff that I have, such as the guitar and some of the jewellery. You know, that's the Aloha ring there. This ring, I love this ring because it's the rare one which has the pattern design on the side. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, and hope I've not bored you too much. And whatever you're doing, I hope you all keep safe. And as it is January 14th here in the UK, if you haven't done it already, it would be a shame if you didn't sort of get a DVD and relax and just chill back, and relax and just chill back, relax, chill back, volume up, lights off, and watch a good DVD. I wonder what you could pick. Oh, you could pick this one if you have it, or this one, or this one, or this one, or any other release that you may have of Aloha from Hawaii. So enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care, guys.
Oi.
You want to do it? Come on, quick.